Hello, hello. Yay. I can see, I can hear myself humming in the background. Right, hello there. We appear to be live. Yay. Hello everyone, how are you? Hello Jackie. Nice of you to join us. Oh, I've got wires hanging and all kinds. Hello everyone, I hope that you're well. I've just got a few little bits here in front of me that I was planning on using, so while we wait for everyone to jump on and get involved, I'm just going to source a few bits. Hello Julie, how are you? Because I think I'm going to need some larger paper for what I'm planning, so I'm going to use some of my A4 Super Smooth because I think I'm going to make a slimline today. I think that's what I'm going to do. Oh dear, what was that? That's what just dropped. Can't see what I've done with some of my slimline cards. So I got a couple of ideas of what I wanted to do today. Well, as usual, it's a very loose idea, shall we say. What's that? No, that's a square card. What have I done with all of my DL cards? I think I might have run out. Oh no! That will never do. Well, that's okay because we can make our own, can't we? So don't worry. Hello, Lauren. Hi, Annalisa. Yes, so we can make our own slimlines. So that's cool. We will do that. Hello, Renee. How are you? So yeah, so I got a rough idea that I wanted to do something that was a bit autumnal. I'm not fully committing to doing Christmas cards yet, although I did start one earlier today when I was testing out some of the next release. So so that's a hint. But yes, I haven't actually officially made any Christmas cards yet. So I thought for this week I would probably close out some of the autumn, fall kind of cards, and then we'll probably be moving into more of a Christmassy direction, I feel. I've got my brew, so I can keep hydrated as we talk. Much needed. The next release, Julie, a great question. So the next release is going to be the same weekend as Black Friday, I believe. So that Friday, I haven't got my calendar in front of me now. Let me have a quick look. Can't remember what day it actually falls. It falls on the 26th, isn't it? Is that weekend, I believe. So yeah, the 26th of November is when the release will go live. What I will tell you as well for the release is that I'm actually away on the Thursday night before when I normally do the live reveal. So I'll be pre-recording the reveals for that week, and I will probably do them over a couple of nights. But they will be available for you to watch as if it was a live reveal, but I won't actually be there. Because I'm going away for the evening with my mum, so we're having a little bit of a girls' night out in where are we going? Liverpool. Hello Nicola, how are you? Hi Lunan. She says she can't stay on for very long, but will stay a little bit with us all. Oh, that's so lovely. It's really nice of you to join us. So, let me think. What was I going to do? I had a couple of ideas, like I say, of what I was going to do. I don't want to make it too complicated because I'm pretty tired. I've been pretty busy, as you all know. It's pretty hectic around here at the moment. I'm working on the release after the next one as we speak. I'm working on a couple of creating craft shows. And there's lots happening, so it's a bit hard to keep up, but it's all good. It's all good stuff. So I think that what I need to start with is my my base card. So I'm going to make my my card out of some of our. That's let me have a look at this. Bear with, people, bear with. Yeah, so I want to do it this way around. So let me see. Let me see. Because what I could do is, see, I've got other ideas, other things that I want to make. And there's not enough hours in the day to make all the things that I want to make. That's my issue. It will be lovely to have a night out with my mum, Annalisa. I'm really, really excited about it. I'm going to make my card base using the scallops. I've decided. I have decided. And I might make the card base out of craft card. Right, okay, we're going out on a limb here. This was not planned, but we're going to do it. So yes, me and my mum are going to go and see Martipello in concert. So those of you that are not from the UK probably won't know Martipello. You may have heard of the band Wet Wet Wet. Oh, I like this cardstock though, but is it heavyweight enough? I do like this. This brown's really nice. But the craft might make a nice card base. Let's have a look. It might be a bit thicker card weight. Yes, this is a bit thicker card weight, so I think I'll go with this. That's more of a paper. So I'm going to use this, I think. A fellow Scot. Yes, Laura, I have been in love with Wet 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 and Martipello since I was 14 years old. Followed them, you know, all through their career. Saw them in concert everywhere they went. Went to see them at play a concert at Glasgow Green when I was 16 years old. Oh, I was in love. My mum and dad were like, you know, like they, I suppose you are with teenagers following the band. Just can't, you know, just, oh, you know, exasperated. But my mum actually really enjoys their music. So Martipello is still touring on his own, not with the rest of the band. And to be fair, he was the one that had got the, you know, the voice that we all wanted to hear. So so we're going to go and see him in Liverpool on the 25th, which is the day before release day. But what can you do? You know, can't ask Martipello to change. You know, that would be rude. Say, Martipello, do you not know that I have got a release to be promoting? I love Rick Astley as well. You see, I'm very much a child of the 80s, so I loved all of the 80s bands and singers. So yes, so that is going to be my that's what I'm going to be doing on that day. Then the day after, obviously, is going to be release day. It's also Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend. So we will be having a sale that weekend, albeit that the new release won't be part of the sale. But if you have been planning on getting a few goodies from previous releases, that would be a good time to get them with your new release, because you'll be able to get some bargains. So, sorry about that. Well, I just ran that through my diagonal machine. I moved my cart my little craft cart, and I keep banging into it now with my knee, so I don't know how I've done that. Find that there's never enough hours in a day. However, if we did have more, there would still never be enough. That's very, very true. That very true, Julie. There still would not be enough. I seem to manage to fill them every time. Hello to Sue and Connie, and Claire's with us and ready to play. What are you doing then? What are you up to, Claire? Now I did just ask the question what people were hoping to see tonight, and I honestly can't remember now, and I'm really, really bad for that. I'm so sorry. But somebody said something cheery. I think it might have been Lauren. Was it you that you said you wanted something cheery? So I'm going to try and do something cheery. I think with the little cute beavers, I think they're cheery. And I think I also wanted to send a really positive message to someone, so that I think will be quite cheerful as well. So I'm going to have a look at some of my browns here, see which brown I like the look of. I'm going to see if I can grab a bit of walnut stain maybe. I do like a bit of aged mahogany. And then we've got ground espresso tea dye. So I don't know if I managed to swatch those ones out, you know. I don't think I did. Or did I? Let's have a look at my little swatch ring here. I've got a little bit piled up. Come on. Off you come. There we go. So this is my little swatch ring using one of the tags from the Zigzag frame and tag set, and I've swatched out quite a few of my oxides, but I haven't managed to do them all. But you can see that the walnut stain is a pretty good colour. I don't think my swatch of the gathered twigs has really done that justice. Afraid burlap is a bit too greeny, I feel. So, but I have not swatched out the ground espresso yet. So there's a few that I still need to do, but I like the walnut stain, so I think we'll go with that. Hi Emma, how are you? Lauren said yes, it was you. You need cheering up this week. Oh, I hope you're okay. Julie says she's not crafting along tonight, but did do some crafting today and only made 20 Christmas cards. I did see that flash up just before I went on the live, Julie. 20 cards in a day is unbelievable. I don't know how you do that. Did you have some of your images already, you know, coloured and ready to go? Ready die cut, because I think that's what I'm going to do with my Christmas cards this year. I think I'm going to spend a bit of time colouring up some images. I might even do a bit of die cutting as well, to, you know, just have things already kind of done, if you like. I like this. This is, I'm liking this effect, and it's given me another idea for what I'm going to do. Yes. See, sometimes you just have to start crafting and the ideas come to you. Julie says yes, she had some images die cut and coloured already, so you had them to hand. See, I do love that when you've already got the images already ready to rock, if you like. And then all you've got to do is just think, right, okay, what am I going to have as my background? What papers am I going to use? Or, you know, what shape of card am I going to go with? What sentiment am I going to use? And you can just play it, putting it all together, can't you? So I do think that's really, really cool. So I like that. I like how that's coming together. Let me have a look at this. Oh, that's had a little bit of brown on it. I might try some ground espresso just on the very edges now, just to colour this, just give it a bit more depth around the edges. And I do think then that just makes, I don't know, it just makes the experience of putting the card together seem much quicker, doesn't it? Because overall it's probably taken you the same amount of time because you've had to spend time, you know, colouring your images beforehand. But yeah, I think it's all part of the fun, isn't it? The putting it together. I do love that when I've got all of my bits around me and I'm like, right, yeah, this is it. So you see how different that looks already to the first piece. It's just coming together. I mean, the great thing about this is that you could make it look like almost anything really. You could make it look like, it's giving me the feel of like cookies. I don't know why, but I think I'm going to make it into some wood to go with our beavers. Hi Nicola, don't worry, we've not really done much yet. I'm just creating my card base at this point. So I've cut out 2 pieces of the largest scalloped frame from the Lovely Friend Slimline set. And I'm just using some of the walnut stain just to add a bit more colour to this craft card, just make it look a little bit warmer. So craft card is quite, I guess it's quite porous and obviously quite of a rough texture, so you're not always going to get the most perfect blend on this kind of paper, but obviously the blender brushes make that a lot easier, but you're going to get that kind of natural texture, which I really like. So I've been a little bit in a bit of a crafty rut, I suppose, lately. In that I haven't done any crafting, it feels like, other than the lives for a while, and the lives have been a little bit hit and miss, haven't they, because we had the show in between. So yeah, so it's nice to be able to just sit and do some crafting and just chat with you guys, because you know, we go from week to week sometimes and don't realise how much we've done and not enough time spent just, you know, enjoying the products that we make. That's always I find that always a pity that I don't get to spend more time with them. So I don't know how it is that I always end up like, I feel like I've not got any space. I've got loads of space here. Julie is feeling super accomplished this week as she's managed to make 56 cards since Friday. Loved being able to get some crafting done. That is absolutely epic. I can't believe you've done that many cards in that short space of time. That's amazing. That's a really good effort. So I'm not going to put all of my, I'm going to put some of these inks away, but I'm going to keep hold of these because we'll probably use them. But I'm going to use my scoring board here. If I can find my scorer is hiding behind my cup of tea. And then which one of these do I like the most? I think I like this one. So I'm going to use this one as my back panel, and then I'm going to take my scoring tool and just score at the point where the scallop starts there. I've created a score line. Now this score line is going to, I'm just going to bend the fibres back to create a bit of a fold. I don't need to create a huge fold, just enough for it to be able to then open, and this bit is the bit that I will connect to my card, to the front of my card should I say. So we'll match those two together and that will create our card base so that our card stands up. But I'm not going to fit them together just yet because I'm going to do a bit more creating first. But I'm going to do the majority of the detail on this piece here. So I'm going to make this look like it's wooden using our wood grain stamp. So this is a lovely big stamp, and I made it this way purposefully so that you can stamp a large area. But even though it is an A5 stamp, it's not quite long enough to go across our card that way, our slimline card. And it's not a repeating pattern, so you couldn't match it up, but you know, wood is not perfect, so what I can do is do it this way rather than lengthways, so that's what I'm going to do. It will line up better. And I'm also going to use one of the sentiments on here because I really love these sentiments. I think they're really, really cool. I don't know why my on the iPad now your comments disappear, so I have to keep going and checking what your comments are. Sorry about that, guys. Right, what I need to catch up. So Lauren's having a bit of a tough time. COVID test, kids with bugs and people not feeling very well and sleep deprived, and oh, I feel your pain with the sleep, bless you. Shani says she still needs this stamp. Yes, Alison's saying that Julie's got a real crafty grotto. So we're not surprised about the amount of cards you've managed to make. So I'm going to just add, and I'm keeping my, in fact I might just give this a clean because otherwise I'm going to get this ink everywhere. But I'm going to use this silica mat again for some more ink blending shortly. Apologies for the squeaking. So I'm going to pop my, I've not taken this stamp off the backing acetate here because it's easier to leave the stamp on here because of its size and then apply your card to the stamp. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to use some of this ground espresso and I'm going to pop this in with enough of a width to be able to cover that that card. And I think the ground espresso will be a dark enough brown, but if not, we can. I'm sure it will be. So turning my card over, and I'm going to make sure that I'm getting the scallops as well. So I'm just going to pop that down, and then I'm going to. And I tried my best to put it down in one pass so that I'm not going to get a blurry image, but we'll see if I manage that or not. And then just give it a good rub around to make sure that you've got ink in all the places that you want it. Oh yes, beautiful, I love it. So let's add a little bit more ink on here. Oh, I love that you had a little crafty catch-up. That's so cool. It was so amazing to meet up with some of my design team when we went to Harrogate. So yeah, I love that you managed to do that. So my point that I reached was just there. So I don't want to overlap it too much. So I'm just going to do that and see if that worked. Trees are, you know, individual and unique, so their pattern could be anywhere. So you see that has crossed, but that's okay. I don't mind that. We are going to cover that centre bit up a little bit anyway, so not a problem. And I'm not going to pop that on the back because you're not really going to see the back, so we'll just leave that as is. And let's wipe this clean. I love this stamp so much, it's so cool. Lovely background, says Lauren, thank you. Look at the state of my chamois. Needs a bit of a clean, I think. Right, so, and like I say, I'm going to use some of these sentiments for my card as well, and I might even use them on the inside of my card. So let's pop this to one side. And I'm still absolutely amazed by the 56. I'm not going to pop that in its, because I'm definitely using that. The 56 cards. I'm amazed. Right, so that one is, so this is the, sorry, I need to explain to you what I'm doing now, don't I? So this is the Trio Circles and Nesting Frame Slimline set. I think I've said that wrong. Slimline Trio Circle Die Set. There you go. That was the easier way of saying it. This has been out of stock. It has just come back in stock. I've not had a chance to update the website yet, but tomorrow, or if anybody's hankering after it, let me know in the comments, and I'll pop this you know, the stock on when I get off the live, because this is now available again, which is awesome. This sells out, sold out a couple of times now, because it's got everything you need to make your slimline die. So you can make your slimline card base using the outer die. It's perfectly sized for American slimline cards, but you can also use it as a matte and layer on a DL UK or European sized slimline card. You've got the nesting dies that go with it, and then you've also got this internal die here which fits with all of our aperture slimline aperture frames. So for example, we've got the lift the flap one here that fits in the center of this, so it coordinates with all of our inserts with the apertures on in all the different shapes. So we've got hearts and tulips as well, we've got the circles and the lift the flap. So it's a really useful set because it coordinates with everything. It gives you the base layer for everything else that you're going to do. So I'm torn between leaving a larger border or not, because I like my wood effect. I don't want to cover it all up, because I think that would be such a shame. And actually, I'm having a little conundrum, because I think I might cut another piece of this that will then sit on top. Right, okay. My brain's having a moment. Let me think this through. Because I want to do, if I explain to you what my plan is, I want to, have I not opened this lift the flap? I must have got another one open. What I want to do is create my lift the flap element in there, in the centre of there, but that be the wooden background, and then I want a pretty background underneath it, if that makes sense. So and I'm going to ink blend that background, so I can't get that little bit of glue off the back now. Don't know why I'm worrying about it, I just don't like it being on there. Come on, there we go. So what I'm going to do in order to rectify that, I can get rid of that sticky, is I'm going to cut another piece of craft using this smaller size, because I think that's a good size to use. Now, have I got enough in that? Oh, it's just too small. That's a shame, isn't it? Let's get some more craft card then. So another piece of craft card here, and I'm going to cut this smaller frame out of it, and we'll colour it up in the same way that we've just done. And then I'm also going to cut a piece of super smooth white that we'll ink blend a background, and we'll be able to put these two together, because we're going to create a lift the flap. So pop that through, sorry about the noise, hopefully it will all make sense as we go along. I like the larger border too, Julie, I'm glad we agree. So So this is our little piece here, so that's good, that's great in fact. So now I need to cut a piece of my Super Smooth as well. So I'll just cut this down just so that I'm not putting the whole thing through the machine. And again, I apologise for the noise of the Gemini, which is a bit of a beast. Hey, has anybody been watching Strictly Come Dancing with Sarah Davies from the Crafters Companion? I must say that I have been we're really big fans of Strictly here, myself and Anne. We watch it every year anyway. So I was really excited that she was in it, because obviously she's part of our industry and it's bringing, I suppose, an extra bit of spotlight to the crafting world, which is really cool. So yeah, so we do, and I've honestly been surprised by how good she is, and you can tell, you know, the kind of the determination of her as a businesswoman is coming out in her learning to dance. So credit to her, she's doing a great job. So let's just move that to one side, and let's add some of that same colour here, so that it matches with the rest of the card. This is definitely one of my favourite things to be doing, just a bit of ink blending, and then when we get to the colouring I'm excited about that. So at the moment I'm thinking about new character designs, and I know you guys are a source of major inspiration when it comes to new characters. So you know, I hope that you like the ones that I've already got in mind. But this release is likely to be January, February time, so I'm trying to think ahead to what's going to be, what people are going to want to be crafting at that time of year. So that's exciting. Right, let's have a look at, let me get my stamp again. Pop that down there. We'll use the same process. We'll stamp all the way along. Sorry if that's making the camera shake, I just realised. And then pop that down and give that a good squidge. It's amazing how it just completely transforms your you know, your cardstock. Love it. So I'm going to try doing this upside down and this way. Didn't need to put all that ink on there, did I? What a sausage. So Annalisa said she would love some more squirrels in different positions. Ooh, I love a squirrel. Squirrels are my most favourite critter, I think. I've decided they are my favourite. Not just from a stamping point of view. I get so excited when I see a real live... I just didn't want to waste that ink. So I just did that. For no purpose really, other than I didn't want to waste the ink. So yeah, when I see them in real life, when we go for a walk and I see them scurrying around, I just love them. Lindsay wants to see some hedgehogs, some hodgehegs. and birds. So I've always kind of avoided birds. I know I've done a couple of birds, and the birds that I've done, I've either done the little tiny little Tweety birds, or I've done like ducks and things. And we did do the little swirly birds, but my mum thinks that birds are unlucky. So, and I've never really been able to shake that superstition. There's obviously absolutely no basis for this, I'm sure, no logical basis. And chickens. Do you know what? I've never thought about doing a chicken, but do you mean like an actual rooster type chicken rather than a little chick? Because that would be quite cute. I don't think I've ever tried to draw a chicken, so that would be a challenge for sure. So we've now got our second piece of cardstock, and the plan is to add our lift the flap die to it. And the lift the flap die is great because it just cuts out the actual flaps. It doesn't cut around the edge, so you're not going to cut a hole in this. You're just going to cut the 3 flaps, which is great. Nicola says she's got an obsession with mice stamps and can never get enough of them. Oh, well, you might be in luck with the next release then, hint, hint. Should I have said that? Oh. So the design team are getting a sneak peek. They're getting their first peek of the new release tomorrow. And as usual, I'm giving them such a tight deadline to get samples done. But the reason for that is not entirely my fault this time. It is that deliveries coming from overseas are simply just taking so much longer than usual. I've been waiting for a delivery from one company for more than 5 weeks now. And there's still no sign of it. So, you know, some things are just being delayed. So I would have liked to have brought you this release a bit sooner, or at least get the samples to the team sooner, but hey ho. Oh, of course, Emma, you've got chickens, haven't you? I should have realised. Nicola's super excited now, and I'm teasing you, I know. Chris Mouse, oh, that's such a cute idea. Chris Mouse is a good idea. They're not Christmas mouses, I will tell you that, but it does feature some mice. So, I can't wait to show you, I'm too excited. So now this is my piece, and you'll see, you might not be able to tell on camera. Let me try and get a little bit closer so that you can see. So there's like a little score line just here at the top of each flap. That is obviously to help you just fold them back. So just carefully fold them back in so that you can get them moving, basically. Because obviously we want them to close, but we also want them to be easy to open. So just give them a little bit of a manipulate so that you know that they move and open, so that you can see what's underneath. Now, I don't want to see underneath the same wood because that looks a bit dull. I want there to be something pretty to look at behind. So this is why we've cut another piece of cardstock, and then I'm going to add a little bit of ink to this. So the colours that I'm going to use, what are we going to use? So some of my favourite colours to use for kind of pretty backgrounds, a bit of dried marigold, some scattered straw, lovely, and abandoned coral. Oh, what a good mix that is. You could also chuck in some aged mahogany and make me very happy as well, but I think I'm going to leave it at the 3 colours for now. So let's do a little bit of, we'll start with scattered straw along the bottom. I'm going to use my lovely big extra large brush to do this, just because I can. Because I can. What else have we got? Lauren says that she had a parcel from Canada. Her sister-in-law brought her a stamp set you wanted that only shipped to the US or Canada. It took 3 weeks from Chicago to near Toronto, but only a few days from Toronto to Glasgow. That's mental. That's absolutely mental. I honestly don't really understand what's going on with... I've got inky fingers now, so I'm making a mess. So I'm going to take a bit of... Oh, I've got a bit of Heavy Doodle tape here, actually, that I've been saving. I'm going to stick it to my fingers so that I can press down without marking my paper. So I've made a little bit of a splodge there, but I think that I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to cover that up. So just rub off the ink from there, and now I need a bit of an orange, so I'll use my orange brush for the dried marigold. So what else can I tell you that's been going on around here, apart from the fact that I've been working Anthony like a dog, as he will no doubt tell you, because that's what he likes to tell everyone. So yeah, I have been working him hard. He's been helping me get the HQ set up. So if you've seen, you know, any of our stories and stuff over the last few days, I've tried to give you a little bit of an, you know, a view of what's happening at HQ now. So now we've started to get things set up a little bit. And it's looking so good. I'm so pleased with it. Everything is just so much easier to find and get my hands on. It's just, everything looks more organised, and it's not, because it was just getting on top, so much on top, because we just don't have the space here now for all of this different stock that we've got, all the wonderful things that we've got to share with you. You know, they needed space to live, and we needed space to grow as well, because we're continuing to grow, which is amazing. So yeah, it's just meant that we've outgrown the space here. So, but it's taken a lot of work. I mean, it's a little bit like moving into your first home in some respects, because you know, we've had to get everything set up from scratch. Which has been, you know, it's been fun and exciting, but is hard work when you've got everything else to do. You know, you've still got to keep the business running. We've got to go to a show. So I think I mentioned we unpacked everything at the new place, and then I had to pack it all back up again to take to Harrogate, and then we had to unpack it all when we got back home, and then sort it all out again. So yeah, it was a bit of a mission, but now it's feeling like it's getting there now. You know, we're at the point where I'm feeling a little bit more settled, and it might not stay in the order that I've got it once I start working in it more regularly, and you know, I understand where I need things to be, but it seems to be working okay for the moment, so I'm really, really pleased with that. So yeah, so we'll see. That doesn't look like a pinky enough pink. Let's have a look. That's too pink. I used another pink for... Yeah, this is a pinkier pink. So I'm going to bring in the abandoned coral now along the top, and then this will just really work well with that dried marigold. It makes a really lovely warm colour, and I'm inclined to do a few like little splatters on here and on my background, so we'll do that next, because I do love that effect. Hi there, Barry. Oh, you've had to give your order away, Lauren, because it's a present. Oh, I hate that. when you want to play with it. What set was it, if you don't mind us asking? Because I'm sure it's one that we'll have all been hankering after. I do love, you know, obviously I'm a big fan of other companies and a lot of American stamp companies I'm a really big fan of. And I'm very much influenced by. They're the companies that, you know, that I was a fan of, and that's what started me designing my own stamps. So, and when we were at Harrogate, I was itching to go and do a little bit of, you know, shopping myself. And I was looking around, looking at all of the stamps, all of the beautiful stamps that are created by these other companies, and I just thought to myself, I have got so many stamps at home, Time for Tea stamps, that I absolutely love, and I don't get time to use. So why am I buying somebody else's? So I did talk myself out of it in the end. I did talk myself out of buying them. I bought, what did I buy? I think I showed you as part of the reveal show, I bought some Catherine Pooler inks, which I'm absolutely buzzing about, and I can't wait to play with a bit more with those, because I think they will work really well with a lot of the memory keeping stamps that we just brought out. I think because they are that kind of ink, you'll get a really good impression when you stamp in a solid image. So like, for example, the solid speech bubbles, or the tall sentiment, the tall the tall alpha stamps, I think they will work so well for those. So yeah, I'm excited about those. And I also bought what else did I buy? I bought these, and I'm excited to try these. They're from Lawn Fawn, and they're stencil paste. So I bought a gold and a fairy dust, and they look just so lush, and I thought they're going to be beautiful for Christmas cards. So I'm excited to pop them through some of my stencils, some of the new stencils, for the next release, or well, some of my existing ones as well. They'll work perfectly with. So yeah, and I also bought the reveal wheel mechanism from Lawn Fawn, because I've got some of the add-on bits, but not the actual original reveal wheel that makes the whole thing work. So I thought, you know what, I've already got the other bits. It makes sense that I buy the actual reveal wheel mechanism. So I bought that from my friend Emma at My Perfect Stamp. So yeah, so I haven't tried that yet, but I feel like that's going to be a really cool little bit of kit to play with as well, and would work with a lot of our stamps. So yeah, I'm keen to give that a try. It was a Crafter's Companion Peekaboo owl, says Laura. They didn't release the owl here. I have the other peekaboo stuff, but not the owl, and owls are your favourite. Ah, I've not seen the peekaboo range, I don't think. But Crafter's Companion do have some really cool stuff. And Shani says that she really wants to try the Catherine Pooler inks. And Laura wants a reveal wheel die. I know I did wonder whether to make one, but I didn't know whether it'd be something that people would be up for or be into. So I didn't go much further than thinking about it, to be honest. It looked a fairly complicated bit of mechanism as well to try and figure out. So, but I might do, you know, I might come back to it. There's a few other things that I wanted to try first, I think. But interactive elements are not always my favourite to make, just because they take a little bit too long for me, particularly when we're doing lives. Rennie says she's just bought the Catherine Pooler inks too and can't wait to try them. I think you can get them. The ones that I got, and were just to like test the water. They're a set of 2, 4, 6, 8 minis. And it was £25 I think for the set, so I just thought, well, that's quite good to just try them rather than buying all of the larger ones, and see whether I like them before I commit. Oh, you see, everybody's wanting the reveal wheel now. There's a stamp for the front and back of the animal and die cuts it out. There's a window bits and you have an animal on show from inside and outside the cards. Oh, yes, that makes perfect sense. I know which ones you mean now. I have seen them. I think they've had them on Create and Craft, haven't they? And Lindsay says that any die that could be used for interactive cards would be fabulous. Right then. You've done me, haven't you? So I'm going to have to do it now, aren't I? Right, I'm going to get a little bit of my water here because we're going to do some splatters. So, splatter time. Splatter time. So I'm going to get, I've got a little bit of Perspex here. I've got some white gouache and I'm also going to get some, oh, let me just reach for my metallics. Oh, actually I might not use the white. I might use the, so I've got some really cool metallics here, so I might not use the white actually, so I don't need my bit of Perspex. This is where I'm going to get splatters everywhere, but I don't care. I don't care. Right, so where's my, oh, this is quite a funky little brush. Let's try this one. I'm going to try to do some of this shimmering. I'll just see if I can get it on screen for you. So this fan brush is quite good to get a bit of a wider splatter. So I'm just going to get that nicely loosened up and then see, yeah, it's just going to go absolutely everywhere. But you know, if your craft desk isn't covered in some kind of a splatter, you're not doing it right. Right, so I'm going to push these back through. Might even have to apply a little bit of sticky behind them just to keep them shut so that we can get some splatter on these doors. So that's going to give a bit of, I mean, I don't know why I'm covering all of that because obviously we're covering a lot of that up. I love it when it goes like all over your craft room and not actually where you wanted it to go. It's only a little bit of ink, isn't it? So I'm going to clean that off. And then I think I'm going to go with, rather than the bright gold, I've got like this lovely bronze colour here. So I think I'm going to try that one. I don't know if I've even ever used this colour. So again, we're just going to put plenty of water on that just to get it moving, to soften up that that pigment, and then let's splatter. This is a cool, really nice colour. Oh, it has literally gone absolutely everywhere. So that's my craft room's going to need a good wipe down afterwards. But that's what crafting's all about. I am not a messy crafter, but I don't mind a bit of splatter. So what do you make of that? It's a different kind of mess, isn't it? It's all over my iPad screen as well, which is really cool. But, you know, hey ho. So, let's just wipe that off. And they look amazing. I love it. I love these. So these are Fine Tech metallics, and you can get them in these little pots and build your own kind of set. As you can see, I stopped at 5, but you can actually build this up to have a full set of them, and this actually holds 2 layers. I don't know why I bought 2 layers, but I did. And so yeah, so the rest of it is a bit redundant, but You can get more of the metallics in different colours and build up your own choice of palette, and I love them. I got mine from Jackson's Art, if you've heard of them, a UK online art supply shop. So, just a quick slurp of my drink there. So I'm going to do a little quick clean up. I am amazed that I didn't get any of this actually onto, oh, that's created such a lovely shimmer there. You probably can't see it on screen. When I lift it up slightly, I think you could see how it glimmers. If I just like move it around a little bit, you might be able to see that. I absolutely adore that colour. I'm definitely using that again. So yeah, so we've got that lovely shimmer on all of our pieces of cardstock there, and it won't take long to dry because they're only little splatters. But I am going to give this a little bit of a wipe down. So because now we need to work on what we're going to have underneath the flaps, and I'm going to have my little beavers. They're going to sit under there. I'm a little beavering away, guys. So now you could, if you wanted to, here I could go to town even more if I wanted to, and I'm toying with, you know, how long does this video become, but what I could do, sorry, I'm just going to give you a wipe as well so I can see your comments. What you could do, so this is going to be underneath here, so now you can see the effect that you're going to get. You're going to get that really nice bit of colour behind our flaps. If you wanted to, what you could do is create a bit of a, I guess, a scene within a scene. So let me just grab a bit of so look, a bit of cardstock here. We could maybe add a little bit of flooring there, you see, so that we've got an extra bit of ground. We could then use some of our other elements. So obviously we've got our little beavers. We'll be standing on some ground there, and I do quite like that idea actually. So we could have this guy at this side, and then they're going to be we could have a little bit of a tree kind of situation. We've got a little tree stump there as well that we can have our little duckling on. So yeah, we've got some extra little elements that will then work, and we've got our little bit of greenery as well. So I do quite like that idea. And what we can do is Julie says she's got to go. She's cold and tired, so going to snuggle up in bed. Got to be up early. He's got an appointment first thing. We'll watch the rest on playback and look forward to seeing the finished card. Night, Julie. Thank you so much for joining me, as always, and joining us, and for inspiring us with all of your crafty works. I mean, I don't think any of us can keep up with that amount of crafting, can we? So I might come back to that, because I do quite like the idea of that. So in fact, I am going to do that while we're preparing backgrounds and so on. I'll come back to my stamping. I'm going to cut this out because I'm going to need to cut out a piece that is the same size as our flap area, but I don't need to cut all of it because we're only going to be using part of it. So use a bit of tape, and I'm just going to, like I say, just put it about halfway because we're not going to use it all. Love the ink blending, not sure you'd cover it, I know, but bear with. So we're not going to cover it all. And we're going to do a bit more ink blending here as well. And the thing is, like we always say, if in the end we don't really like it and we don't want to cover up that ink blending, then we don't have to. It is not a problem. Right, let's put that through. So we've now, oops, got a piece. So we've got a piece now that has got the same bottom piece to the rest of our frame, and then I'm going to grab, that always gets in my way, where is it? This is my Slimline Slimline Hillside Scenes. Try saying that 3 times fast. And I'm going to use the grassy bit. So what I need to just double check here is how much of the grass we want to show. So I'm going to pop my little beavers on there, and then if I pop my grass there, I think that is probably about the right place. So pop some more tape on here and pop this through the machine again. Make sure I did do those very rough measurements correctly. So pop that on the bottom of there. I mean, we can always shift it up slightly because you're not going to see the bottom. So yeah, I like it. So we've just got that little bit of green. It's not covering all of that background up, but it's just giving us a little bit of ground for our little beavers. So I'm going to add some extra green to this because I think it needs a little bit of butching up, and I'm going to use my little stackable brushes for this because I feel like it needs a little bit more of a delicate touch to it. So I'm going to use, because we've got these little fine bits of grass, I don't want to go in with my big brush and bend any of the little blades of grass up. So this is perfect for this kind of thing. So just add a little bit of the ink around the bottom as well. Let's just darken that up a little bit, and then I've also got some pine needles, and that might just add that in a few areas just to add a little bit more. Blend that all through with the ink that's left on that brush. Oh, that looks great. So the only thing that we've not done, obviously we've not done any splattering on this, but I don't think that that really matters. I've not got these in rainbow order and that's going to annoy me now. Oh well, I shall have to do that later. So let's have a look. Pop that on there. Pop that on there. Oh yes, love it, love it. So we'll give that a clean, and then we might be done with all our ink blending now, I think, possibly. So I can remove my silicone mat, and then let's have a look at what we're going to do with our little beavers. Now then, I need to have a little picture of a beaver. Just to remember how to colour them. How did I colour a little beaver before? Haven't swatched one of my beavers, that's the thing. So I have a little, again I've got like a little swatch book that I will occasionally add to it with images and colour them so that I can refer back to those colours, but I haven't done that. Now one thing I will just say about this offcut, before I get rid of it, you could use this as a stencil. So you could pop this on the bottom of your page and then use it as a stencil, because you'll get that that little blade of grass pattern left, and that's obviously you probably only be able to use it a couple of times before it got a bit you know, a bit worn, because it's only made out of a bit of cardboard, but is still very useful for that. So let me just have a quick look for a picture on my other iPad of my beautiful little beavers to remind myself of guys, and then we'll get these stamped up. How are we all? Hello Rachel, hi Jane. Wendy says she loves the ink blend. Oh yeah, I've read that. You love the ink blending, but you weren't sure we covered it. What do you think now then? What's your thoughts? What are your thoughts? See if I can find. Yay! Right, we've got a picture of the beavers. Oh, I remember now. Okay, so I'm going to use that. So I've just had a look on the website. Goodness, that's annoying. Yeah, so I just had a look on the website, and obviously we have pictures of all of, we have samples against all of our stamp sets, and I've just double checked the colouring of my little beaver so that I can refer back to it. I don't know obviously the exact colours, but I can make a guesstimate at the colours that I used, I think based on looking at this picture. So I'm getting, oh, got a load of dies just stuck to my magnets there. So let's have a go at stamping these guys up. I'm going to cut down my cardstock here because it's too big to fit in my stamping platform, and I don't need all of it anywho, so we'll just cut that down, and then I'll use these magnets to hold it in place so that if we need to stamp a couple of times we can do. So I know I need these 3 little beavers. And then we also said we might have the trees, and we might have the little duckling and the tree stump. But I also think it'd be quite cool to have some of their little tools as well. So we'll have a look at some of those. Obviously I don't want to spend all night colouring. I'm not sure you want to watch me colour all night. And actually, that has given me a thought that do I have any beavers already coloured? Because that would be useful, wouldn't it? So I've got this little album here, and I keep little, you know, bits that I've already coloured and die cut so that I can refer back to them and use them at a later date. So it is quite handy then for times like this where you just want to do a quick, or times when you want to do a quick card, and you can just use bits that are already die cut. But I think I may have used my beavers before in something else. Oh, I've got a couple though. Here we go. So we can use these as a bit of a reference for colouring. Oh look, cute. So yeah, so I got a couple, but not all the ones that we need. So that's okay. That's okay. I love colouring them up, so we shall use these as a little reference. But we'll get these stamped and coloured. So, close the door of my stamping platform. I'm going to grab some of my Memento Tuxedo Black because this is what I use when I am colouring with my alcohol markers, which is what we're going to do. And I'm sorry if the stamping is knocking the camera a little bit. My camera is attached to, well, it's on a mount that is sitting on my craft desk, so obviously any kind of knocking of the table will then knock the camera. And I've not managed to figure out a way of being able to set it up so that it isn't on the table, because it just doesn't want to work that way. So we didn't get a perfect stamp across all of that. So the great thing about using the stamping platform obviously is that we can then restamp it. So we'll add a bit more ink and restamp. So how is the temperature where everybody is in the world today? In the UK, well, certainly in the part of the UK that I live, it's pretty cold, let me tell you. Was I going to use that one? Yeah, I was. We have two little sitting up ones on, yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's been cold, and so we've had to have the heating on pretty much all the time, which I hate doing, because obviously it makes your skin really dry, it dries the air, and it's just, but I also hate being cold more than anything, so it needed to be on. Clyde, who is our cat, who you'll have heard me, you know, if you've been watching for a while, you'll have heard me talk about him so many times. But little Clyde is an old boy, and he loves the heating being on. It is his most favourite thing. He has a little bed positioned on the back of an old chair that is up against the radiator, so he sleeps kind of half on the radiator, half on the back of the chair. And when the heating's on, you will not move him from that position. He absolutely loves it. He's a number of times, because he's got a little blanket and a cushion on there, he's pulled that away so that he's laying directly on the radiator. However, he's not scorched himself, I just don't know, but he's crazy. He's a crazy cat. It's looking with the grass. It's looking cute with the grass. Still love the ink blending so much. I rarely blend. Don't like to hide it. Yeah, I know what you mean, Wendy. It is a shame to hide it. Nicola says she's happy just watching you colour to your heart's content. Rennie says in Trinidad and Tobago it's a little cooler now, 24. So you see, I don't do new money, I do old money in terms of the temperature. So 24, I'm not sure what temperature that actually is, because we have here, so if it's 24, that's hot, isn't it? Because our temperature at the moment in old money in degrees is like 4 degrees. That's not good. Oh, Nicholas says it was -2. That's horrible. -2 is horrible. It is. So we've recently changed cars for a more economical car, which makes much more sense because of the amount of miles and things that we do. But it doesn't have heated seats, and the last car did. So the last car was not economical in any way, but it did have wonderfully heated seats. So I miss those at the moment. Right, I'm going to try and zoom. Oh, I always turn you around, I'm so sorry. Bear with. Let me zoom you in so that you've got a big view of my big old finger there. Right, let's see. Is that okay? So, right, colouring in these little beavers. I'm thinking it's around an E23, 25 kind of colours for the bodies. So let's go with that. Yeah, that looks the business. So I think this has ended up being quite a long project, so thank you for bearing with me. I wasn't expecting it to be a long one. I always say that, don't I? I'm like, oh, I'm so tired, I don't know if I could do a long project tonight. And then I just get carried away, and here we are. But this is the thing with crafting, I think you do just lose yourself, don't you? Once you get an idea, well, I'm certainly that sort of person that once I get an idea in my head, I have to see it through. I can't just leave it part way through. And I'm the same with pretty much anything I do, like that. So if we're decorating, or you know, or we've decided that we're going to do something, I'm right, we're doing it. And I'm not satisfied until that's been done. So that can mean then that we're decorating till, you know, the wee hours of the morning, because I'm so determined that we're going to get it finished. But that's why when I've got an idea about a card that I want to do, or I've got an idea about a stamp set that I want to design, then I can't rest until it's out of my brain. So the last couple of nights I have been laid awake just thinking about stamp designs, which is really frustrating because I can't do anything about it while I'm laid in bed other than think, right, okay, shall I get up and do something about it? But then I'm not getting any sleep. But I'm not getting any sleep anyway, so it's a bit of a catch-22, isn't it? So I'm just going to use some of this darker shade to add a few shadows. So, oh, I didn't colour his ear in. So I'm doing this quite quickly, but we'll still get a nice effect, even though we're going to do it a little bit quicker. And I'm going to colour all three of the beavers at the same time, just the speed. So, you know, you might want to take a bit more time colouring them in at home. Obviously, if you're recreating this, you might want to take a bit more time. But I think, you know, you don't have to spend hours necessarily to get a really good result. Now, because I'd let my my markers dry back a little bit, this is why I'm having to go over the whole thing again with the lighter shade, because that will just blend out some of those lines. So I'm just almost rubbing those lines away as I go back over. These beavers are very cute. I did enjoy coming up with this set. And I did feel like this was a bit I had kind of Ant in mind when I designed this, because I wanted to have sets that were great for him, so that I could send a bit more of a boy card than perhaps some of the other sets were. Although, to be fair, he does love all of the other sets. He thinks that they're really cute. So just, oh, I missed that ear as well. Oh no. Let's just add a bit more colour to that. So then I have probably used like an E51 for the bellies. So a sort of a lighter shade of brown. It's more of a cream colour, really, isn't it? And then we'll use the E53 just to add a bit of shadow underneath. I do, and I think who was saying that they're quite happy to watch me colour. And Jess says, we don't mind a long project, we love having the company to craft along, we're never finished. Oh, that's cool. What are you up to then, Jess? You and your mum, what are you up to? Wendy says, I have so many half-done craft projects. Well, I'm not going to lie, you know, I don't actually, although I have the best of intentions, I don't always finish my craft projects. That is true. And I also have a lot of journaling and what's the word I'm looking for? Speak with your mouth. Because I'm thinking about what colours of grey I'm using. I've also got a couple of memory books that I need to finish off that I haven't done yet. So, and I'm really keen to get finished. So some albums with you know, holidays and trips that we've been on. Our most recent holiday that we went on, where Aunt's sister got married. I really want to get that documented. So I just haven't got the time, and I'm really hopeful, although this is probably absolute madness on my part, that I might get a bit of time at Christmas to do some crafting, but you know, we can but hope. Claire is making a Christmas turkey card and Jess is doing a green zebra Christmas card. Well, wow, a green zebra for Christmas, that's different, isn't it? I love the idea of it though. Is it a Catherine Pooler design? Because I've seen her doing like a funky zebra recently and I did love it, but it wasn't a Christmas card, it was like to a friend, I think. Like it was, I think it was a zebra or a horse, but I think it was a zebra on the telephone, which is also quite mad, isn't it? But I liked it. And a Christmas turkey card. See, I would have to do a vegan or a vegetarian Christmas turkey card. Because we don't eat turkey at Christmas. So we actually, that's just reminded me as well that I made Aunt and I, like almost, it was pretty much almost what you would make at Christmas dinner. It was all of the, you know, Brussels sprouts, there was cranberry, there was stuffing, and we only had one kind of potato, so I think that's what made it different to actual Christmas dinner, because we would have done roast and mash whereas we just had mash. But we had chantenay carrots, check us out, and we had cabbage, and we had a corn roast, which is a veggie version of like a chicken roast. Obviously it doesn't look anything like a chicken roast. I don't even know if it tastes like a chicken because it's been that long since I've actually had chicken, but it was delicious. And I love, stuffing is just, it's just amazing. So yeah, it was, and we had Yorkshire puddings as well. So you guys that aren't in the UK, if there are any of you watching still, and are still bearing with my colouring process here, do you know what Yorkshire puddings are? Do you have Yorkshire puddings in any of your meals? Because if you don't, you're seriously missing out on an amazing treat. So I'm just going to add a little bit of pink to those ears as well. And then let's colour in some of these accessories. So I wanted to do a different colour of tree to the colour of the actual beaver. That's his name, isn't it? So what colour tree? Oh, let's have a look at... So we could go, let's do a little experiment. We could go really dark, but that may not stand out. This is an interesting colour. That could be, but I feel like the tones don't really work. So I'm going to say no to that. So maybe the... Oh, what have I done there? Yeah, maybe this is going to be a better colour combo. Slightly warmer shade. And I'm going to do that on the base of the axe, on the base of these two trees here as well. And I think I'm going to have a wooden base to my hammer, just to try and keep things all a little bit in keeping. And oh, I can hear fireworks. That is annoying. So have there been any fireworks near any of you guys yet? So Ant, as you know, is a firefighter, and he's been to his first bonfire call out. So this was a situation where a bonfire has been created, as in a stack of firewood has been created, ready for bonfire night. And some youths have set it on fire ahead of the scheduled event. Wendy says she lives in New Zealand but was a Londoner for 13 years, so loves Yorkshire puds. Yes, get in. We love a Yorkshire pud. We do. So I can't speak. New Zealand is a place that I would love to visit one day, as is Australia, although I feel like at the moment, I guess with the way the world is, it feels like some of those things are never going to happen. Lauren says, love a Yorkshire pudding, hate fireworks when it's just random people doing it, all for a proper big display. Exactly. Our neighbours did have fireworks last year. And when it's very close to the house, it does make Rosie very, very scared. And she hides, bless her. Which is understandable. It's very, very scary. So just adding a little bit of a darker shade to the bottom of there. And I'm going to keep that quite noticeable as a difference, I think, along there. So yeah, it's and I think, you know, obviously Ant's gonna deal with a lot of issues over the coming nights. He's actually working nights on bonfire night, so I imagine he's gonna have a busy evening, shall we say. Pop some of these back. Oh, throwing the pens around. So I'm going to use a different shade. So I used the toner greys for the feet and the tails of the beavers, but for anything that's kind of metal, I like to use the cool greys. So I'm going to use that for the top of the hammer. I think that gives more of a steely finish. Give that to the axe as well. Oh, I've not done the top of the tree stump there, have I? I'll do that because I'm going to do that in the E50, E50, 51. Shall I start with or E53? I'll start with E53, I think. E53. I'll probably not need much more than a little tickle of the E55. Yeah, there we go. Nicholas says that her brother lives in Australia and we're just praying that we'll visit each other soon. Oh, that's so sad. It is awful at the moment where you just can't get to see people. You know, we're talking about just, I guess, going out in the world. I think I've done that upside down, haven't I, really? But it's fine. It's fine. As I said at the when we were at Harrogate and I was doing some demos, there are no shading police. Nobody's going to come round and say, you added that shading in the wrong place and we're now going to have to report you or charge you with misuse of a Copic. It's just not going to happen. Our neighbours are actually setting their Diwali fireworks off in the street earlier. Oh wow! So actually in the street. I mean, I know people want to celebrate, and you know that's great. But yeah, I think you just have to think about other people and their animals, because animals don't know what you're doing it for and they get no say in it, and you can't explain it to them. How do you explain to your cat that, oh yeah, when we're celebrating something we like to randomly set off bombs or what sound like bombs? They don't get it, they're just scared. Oh, Annalisa's just back from our walk, and we fell back sooner than in North America, so our clocks went back sooner. Is that what you mean? I see. So this little duckling here, I'm going to colour in. It's going to have some little orange. What colour did I do him before? Come on, wake up, laptop. I mean iPad. Yeah, that's right. Did him in a little bit of an orange beak, and then some nice shades of warm shades of yellow. This is very yellow. I like it. I like it a lot. And what we can do is we can, that's a bit too dark actually. Let me go for, what's this? Might be a nice, yeah, let's add a little bit of this colour in there, which is almost like our dried marigold colour, and it just tones him down a little bit, which is quite cool. I quite like that. And then for the kind of the highlights of the I can't speak. What am I trying to say to you? I'm trying to say the bits on the axe and the saw. It's a saw. Oh my word. Where are my words? I'm going to do in this kind of a, this is actually called a flesh, but I feel like it's kind of a corally kind of pinky red colour, which is going to go with our background, I think. So this is a little bit of a distance away. Where is my, what's the closest to this? Have we got one? Oh, so we might have to do a bit of tip. Oh yes, we've got, I knew there was another one in between. So this is RO5. So we've got RO2 and RO5. Now there is a little bit of a distance between these, but I think I'd stamped that upside down. Well, I've not stamped it upside down, but I'm colouring it slightly upside down. But these blend really nicely together. So this is a really nice colour combination that I often forget. Very juicy. So I've splodged a bit there, so just be aware of that, because that was a bit of a nightmare. My tree, so let's have a think. What should we do for the tree? I like a nice kind of a pine coloured tree, so I think we'll go for something along those lines. Yeah, that's a good base colour. So this is G17, so I think we'll go straight in there and cover all of the tree in this colour first, and then I'll add a little bit of texture with my next layer. Same with this one. This, I feel like this this Copic is drying out a little bit, which is a bit annoying. I don't feel I've used it that much. Maybe I haven't had the lid on correctly, because I do find that my Copics last such a long time. So I'm just going to add a little bit of definition at the bottom of each layer. I think that looks kind of cute. So I'm just using a flicking motion just to create the idea of some, I guess, some pine needles of sorts. I think that looks really kind of good. And then with the G29s, that was G28, I can just add a few more, but a little bit more separation between them, and a few underneath as well. Yeah, that's quite good. I'm just adding a little line under there because there would be shadow underneath each layer. So I do just want to define that a little bit. It's cute. And we'll do that again with the G28. Sorry, I blocked that again for you, haven't I? So I'm just adding a bit more of a shadow down the side of where the one tree is in front of the other. Great. And then you can go back in with the lighter shade just to blend some of those flicks and lines out a little bit. And you know, when I started colouring these trees, I thought I'm going to keep it simple, but in the end I got carried away and I actually like the result. So they look really cute. They've now got a little bit of depth to them, haven't they? Oh, I forgot my little leaves. So I'll just do those in a bit of this darker green, and then I'll just tip that with a lighter shade, just so that you can see that contrast a little bit. So that's cute. Right, now then, what a mission that was. Let's get these guys cut out, shall we? So where are my dies? So these guys obviously all come with the coordinating dies, which is going to make our lives so much easier. And what I'm going to do is, if I just clear a little bit of space for myself here, is I'm going to get my little die cutting machine. Where's she gone? There she is. Even she's got a splatter of paint on her. And I'm going to cut this down a little bit, because my little die cutting machine will only take so much, but it will do me a grand job and not make as much noise as the Gemini. So when I'm cutting out little images like this, I don't really like using the larger Gemini machine because I feel like they get a little bit lost in there, and that means then that they can sometimes move around and don't cut out as perfectly as I would like. Right, now then, which one is this? One's for this guy. I will zoom back out again when we've die cut everything. So I realise that I might be a bit close for you to be able to see everything else. So we've got the little hammer here, which is very cute, which we can pop in the paws. We've got the little chick, which I did design specifically for Annalisa because she said she does love the little birds. And I thought that this one was very cute. I was like, I need an extra little character, a little friend for my beavers. A little duck, why not a little duck? And then obviously we had our Lucky Ducks, which is still one of my favourite sets of ours. What are your favourite Time for Tea sets? What would you say your favourites are? What are your favourite stamps to play with? What are your go-tos? Not just from Time for Tea, you know. It's good to know what you guys, you know, really enjoy crafting with. So, what would you say your go-tos are? What's your favourite Time for Tea set as well? I'd love to know that. I'd love to know. Love the Lucky Ducks, says Annalisa. Yes. We do love the Lucky Ducks. Right, so let's pop these through my little dinky die cutter. So this is getting to the fun bit. Well, what am I talking about? It's all been fun. I've been having the time of my life here, just crafting away and blending and colouring and stamping, all the things that I love. Snappy before coffee, says Annalisa. Yeah, that's a good one, that one. That is a fave. I like the cool critters as well, because I love that ice cream van, and I've hardly had a chance to play with that, you know. And the terrific part. Oh, see, there's lots. Sloths, one of Lindsay's favourites. Yeah, I would say that they're a go-to for me as well. They're just ones that you know, you're going to get a good result from, aren't they? Yes, I love that. Love those. Okay, so let's poke these guys out, and then, like I say, the fun really begins. And look, we've even managed to take out, I lined that up so well, yay me. So yeah, let's just do this, make it a little bit quicker. Oh, this is so cute. Right, and the one thing that I haven't quite thought about is sentiment placement. So obviously I mentioned sentiment that I wanted to use, or one of the sentiments that I wanted to use, but I haven't really thought about where it's going to live. So that's a thought, isn't it? And, you know, haven't actually thought about what my main sentiment would be necessarily. So might have to give that a little bit of consideration before we stick everything down, because we want to make sure that there is room for everything that we've got in mind. So that's all there. Jackie says her favourite is the Pandemonium Pandas. They're great ones. Annalisa says she needs to make a Christmas card with these. Yes. Christmas card with the beavers or with the sloths. Oh, the sloths. Oh, I really enjoyed turning the sloths into Christmas sloths last year. Some really cool cards. I think there was one that I never even shared actually, so I'll have to dig that one out. Okay, so let me try and zoom back out and not lose you. There we go. There we go. So let's have a look now then at what, because I had originally intended on using these great big sentiments. Well, these are not going to work, are they now? So let's just move these guys up here a little bit so that you can see what I'm doing. So we've got this situation going on. But obviously these are way too big now. But I'm wondering if we can do something on the front of the flaps, because we've not really got anything on the flaps, you see. So, and I'm wondering, is there a 3-letter word that I can stamp out? That I can cut out with my Anthony's Alphas, maybe. Hug. There could be. What is on my? So on the. Oh, just put the beavering away. So it's your day. Stop beavering away is the little rhyme. Or we've got sentiments of, would you be mine? You are tremendous. I would be lost without you. I'm thankful for you. I could do is it how do you shorten thanks? Or I'm waiting for anybody to suggest something. Or we have got could add a small sentiment there. It's your day. Yeah, you would be good, wouldn't it? But what would I put with you? Fix. Can you do like an abbreviation? Like, is like thanks THX? I don't know. Or yeah, if they're fixing things, I like that. I like that. Hey's quite good. Hey, hey there. That could be cute. That could be cute. Or we've got, like I say, we could use one of the smaller things. By the way, BTW, I like that. We could do, is it thanks, I think it's THX. Yeah, that could be quite good, but it looks weird. It does look weird. So I'm thinking, what if I did the U and then I only stamped out the are tremendous on the inside? That would be quite cool, wouldn't it? So shall we do that? Oh, lol. Lol's a good one. But what are they lolling about? I think I'm going to go with the U that Wendy suggested. I think that would be quite a cool idea. So let me get my, this is my Anthony's Alphas. So I've got a Y and they fit perfectly onto the flaps, which is perfect. Where's my U gone? Am I blind? There it is. U! Whee! So, my thoughts are, because we've used that kind of a gold colour, what if I use like a bit of a metallic cardstock to colour in, to cut out the letters. Let's have a look. That's not a warm enough shade. This is a nice shade, but it might not stand out enough. I don't want to go full on gold, but we might have to. I don't possess an awful lot of like glittery or metallic-y type cardstock, so that's why I'm always struggling. That is too metallic. Copper like the splatter, I agree. That is the closest to copper that I've got. Shall we try it? It is pretty much the same colour as the splatter. It's very pretty. Let's try it, shall we? What's the worst that could happen? Hey, what's the worst that could happen? Oh, I love this little project. It's really cute. I love that we're going to use these alphas as well. So let me just chop a little bit of this off. We don't need a lot, do we? So we should be able to go through the machine quite neatly. And then we can stamp the rest of our sentiment on the inside. Been a bit wasteful even there, look, with my cardstock. Love it. cardstock is lush, isn't it? I don't even know where this is from, I have to say. It's just something that's been in my stash for a while. So let's put this through here. Oh, look at that. Now I feel like, oh, I love it. I love that. That's really pretty. Oh. So it doesn't stand out massively, but you know what I'm going to do? I am going to pop it up. So I'm going to cut this out a couple more times. And let's have a look here. I've got in here as well some kind of a pearlized look, which is very similar to the pearl splatters that we used, the silver pearl. So we can offset that and see what this looks like. So let's pop, and I think what I might do is I might just cut some out of some just some plain cardstock as well, just so that it's got a little bit of height. Or I could use this colour as the front and the copper as the reverse, if it stands out a little bit more, because this is also a very nice colour. It's got a bit of a shimmer to it. So let's see. Oh, that's really pretty. So we could either do it stacked that way or stacked that way. I think I like the copper at the front, but just with a bit of the highlight. What do we think? Yeah, I think the copper at the front works. So yeah, I like that. So let's just run it through one more time, just in some plain white cardstock this time. I've got a little bit knocking about, which I definitely should have. Let's just pop that out of my way. Here we go. It's a little bit of white cardstock here. Okay. This is coming together. I like it. This is probably the biggest kind of card project I've done in a while. Sometimes when you're just in a flow, you've got to go with it. So I've got my extra pieces cut. And I'll pop my letters back on the magnetic sheet so we don't lose them. Drop any of those. Sorry, well, I just put these away. Not plain ball. Come on, get back in there. Yay. Well, I'll move them because we're not using those now. So, where are we up to? So, I've got my U's. So, let's stack these up so that you guys can see what I mean. So let me see, have I got some glue that is not clogged up? No. This is the other game of the day. There we go. It's just unclogging glue. So put some of my glue on here, and then we'll stick the pearl over the top of the white. Make sure that that's lined up like so, and then I'm going to add glue to the copper and then place that so it is slightly offset. There we go. So you can see a bit of the pearl on the outside underneath, and that will just help those letters stand out against the brown background, I think. So, oh, there we go. Yeah, cool. So we can now stick these onto the centre of our flap, I think, because we know that's where they're going to go. The rest of it remains a mystery still, but we know where these are going to go. So get those lined up. And pop them there, and then I'm just going to pop that up there for a minute because this is our inside of our card. So on the inside of the card, we've not done any ink blending on the inside actually, so I'm inclined now to do a bit of that, so just bear with me. I'm going to grab some walnut stain because I don't like how flat the inside is, but I'm not going to go as much into the centre as we've done on the front of the card, so I'm just going to add just to warm up the colour of the background. So I'm just very lightly just covering some of that craft card up, because before we stick all of this together I want to stamp the rest of my sentiment on the inside. So I'm going to grab my stamping platform because I want to get this lined up correctly, but this obviously is quite long. So it's going to hang over the edge, but it should be fine. Should be fine, she says. So this is the bit where I just need to determine where the middle is. And I'm going to stamp one of my little beavers, the one that we didn't stamp before, and then we're going to use the rest of the sentiment "You Are Tremendous," but obviously I only want the "Are Tremendous," not the "You." So "Are Tremendous," just trying to work out roughly where the middle is, which that isn't the middle, is it? But that's about the middle there. So I think that looks fairly central. 2, yeah, I think that's central. Central as I'm going to get. So let me just pick those guys up. And then I'm just going to spin this around so that you can see what I'm doing, because I'm going to cover up the U with some washi tape before I add my ink. And I'm using that same ground espresso that we used stamp the wood grain, and then I'm going to take off that washi tape because that U is now not stamped. I'll turn this back round, and let's hope that I've figured that out correctly. I'm not too worried if we haven't. Oh, that's stamped so well. Just a little bit on his beaver tail, but I'm happy with that. So, you are tremendous. Where's my showing? Needs a bit of dampening, I think. So, where did I put my beavers? Look, little beaver. He has got, let's have a look, what's he going to have in his hand? I think he could have the little, so I'm not going to position that, I'm just going to use my stamping block, and I'm going to position that just in his little paw. Press that a little bit too hard, but never mind, it'll dry back. That's why I don't use acrylic blocks very often, because I'm a bit heavy-handed with most most of my crafting. So that's that bit done then, so that's looking good. I'm happy with the insert there. What do you guys think? We've got a little insert, so I know that you guys like it when we add a bit of an insert. So and I love these sentiments from the wood grain stamp set, so it's great to be able to use those. So let's take our little guy here, and I'm going to move my inks out of the way, move my cardstock out of the way that's getting splattered and all kinds. And we can let me put my panel together first before I start assembling the whole thing. So first of all, I'm going to line up my grass on the back here. So I'm just going to add some liquid glue, so it's all going to start coming together now. And I positioned it just slightly higher than the base, because that meant that it showed through a little bit. And I do think that that pop of green is quite cool. So if we've got that there, then let's have a little think about where we want some of our accessories. Do we want them kind of hanging over the edge here on the front, so that can stick on there so that you can open it like so, or we could pop it underneath and we could perhaps have it just peeking through our background. We'll snip off the edge and have little guy number one. You can't really see it then though, can you? So I might leave that so that it is adhered to the front, or even on the inside. So that's that. And the guy on the front, I agree. We're on the same wavelength, Wendy. So we've got that in there, we've got that guy in there. So cute! I love it. I love it so much. So if the guy in the middle is going to be holding onto his axe, then he might have to like just pop behind there a little bit. He's got his little bit of wood that he's chomping on, and this guy, I think his saw is going to be a little bit, I think maybe we have a saw down by his feet, or that could decorate the outside, couldn't it? Yes. talking to myself now. I do apologise. This is what happens. So we've got the little guy. He's really cute. That's very sweet. I like that. Okay, I'm getting a plan. We've got a plan. It's coming together. So I think the first thing to do to try and get all of this stuck down is I'm going to add the bits that they're going to be holding on to their little feet or paws. I heard a fact this week that blew my mind. Was it this week? Maybe last week? That rabbits don't have paw pads. Now, I have had rabbits before and I feel like I should have known that, but I didn't know that. And it did blow my mind, actually. And it's true, they don't have paw pads. They just have very thick fur on the bottom of their feet, which almost looks like paw pads. But obviously when we draw them, we tend to represent them with the same kind of paw pads that cats and dogs have. And I was watching Pets at Home? Yeah, is it Pets at... No. Secret Life of Pets, Pets at Home. That's the store, isn't it? The Secret Life of Pets. I was watching that. Just happened to be on the TV, and I saw the character that Kevin Hart plays, the rabbit. I love that rabbit so much. It's so cute. I absolutely adore him. And he's such a good character. And I love Kevin Hart as an actor anyway. I think he's really cool. And that rabbit had paw pads. So even Pixar didn't know that fact. But it's a true fact. Google it. It's a true fact. I kid you not. So, let's... I'm going to stick this guy down first. Just because he needs to pop behind my little opening. So add a bit of glue to him, and then I'm going to just nestle him in this slot just there. So he's going to be a little bit behind the tab, but he fits perfectly. This guy might also have to just sneaky snorkel behind the gap. So let's position him in there. I just think this lift the flap situation is so cute because you get the little surprise, you know, when you open it up, which is adorable. And I do think that, you know, interactive cards are really cool, because they have, not only are they something a bit different, a bit more interesting for the recipient, I think they are just a little bit more interesting for us to make as well. It's just a little bit more, there's a little bit more to it. We can get really, you know, into the design of it, and like we've done tonight, you know, we can just really go to town on some of the elements, and yeah, it's a really you know, fun thing for us to make as well, a little bit different than the usual. Lauren says, card is looking fab. I'm going to have to head off though. Thank you for the cheery card though and the chat. I really enjoy the Thursday lives. Thank you so much for joining us, Lauren, and I hope it has cheered you up a little bit. I think it's quite a cheery little card, and you are tremendous. So have a lovely evening, Laura, and we'll catch you next week. So that all seems to be stuck down quite nicely, and you see now when the flaps are shut, you can't see our cute little beaves. So I'm going to attach the base now. So I'm just going to add glue, and I'm going to use liquid glue because it will give me a much better bond, so my card doesn't fall apart, because we definitely don't want this little work of art of ours to collapse on the mantelpiece, do we? So let's line up those scallops. Press that down. Obviously it's going to take a little bit of time for it to fully adhere, so we'll just add a little bit of pressure. Put my little brush back. Very, very cute indeed. So we can now, like I say, we can add some extra little embellishments, and I think adding our little duck is going to be a really cute thing to do. And I think as long as you can still open the flap, I think if something's hanging off the end of it, I don't think that's a problem. I'm down with that as a design feature. I think it just adds a little pop of colour to the front of our card. I've just applied the glue to the very edge of the tree so that it's not going to stick the flap down, because we don't want to do that. Add a little bit of glue to the little duckie's feet. So that he can, for some reason he doesn't want to stick. Oh, I think that would be really cute on there. I think that's going to look cute. Yes, so we'll just add, flicking him about, add a little bit of glue to one side of the tree stump and just stick that on there, so you can actually use that as a way of lifting. That's quite cute as well, isn't it? I'm not sure about the saw, might look quite good just there. What do we think? Just gonna give it a minute to marinade. Or did it look better down? I think it looks good attached to the U. It's, yeah, that's cute. I like that. Or does it look a bit odd? Did it look better without it? Well, I've done it now. I've stuck it down now. It's going to have to live. You're going to have to live with it. I think this looks so cool. I'm so pleased with how this is turning out, or how it's turned out. I don't think I need to add anything else to it. So we've got obviously you on the front. We open our flaps and we've got our cute little beavers underneath doing their beavery little things and being really cute. And then on the inside, and just now we've stuck that down, we're probably just going to have to bend that fold just to make sure that it's going to stay stuck down for us. And then on the inside we've got our tremendous. Yay! You are tremendous. I think I would have liked that to have been a bit further this way, but hey ho, that's how things go. So the last thing that I do want to do, which I always do, and you know I always do this, is just add some white gel pen to my little guys. I just think it just finishes them off a little bit, and on his nose as well, I think. His nose. Little 4. Yeah. He's already got some on him. Is he the one that I coloured before? Oh yeah, he was the one. How funny is that? I coloured him exactly the same and I didn't even realise. So he was the guy that I'd already coloured before. He was the one that I coloured tonight. So there you go. That shows you that I did colour him exactly the same. So, and then the last thing that I like to do with my little critters is add a little bit of black glaze to their eyes, so that they really pop. So obviously I'm not going to be able to shut the flaps on this just yet, because then they will smudge. But I'm very, very pleased with how our little lift the flap interactive card has turned out, and it will stand up quite nicely by itself, and you can see then the U and how that stands out, and I love the fact that we've been able to create our own bespoke sentiment that fits on the front as well. So that's, you know, it's great to have alpha dies or alpha stamps that allow you to do that. And then when we lay it down, see all our little critters. Yay! Oh, I'm really, really happy with that. I've really enjoyed making that. I hope you've enjoyed watching. I know it's been a longer one tonight, and it wasn't as I expected it to be, as always. It always ends up being longer than I think, but I so enjoyed making it. So thank you so much for joining me, guys. I'm really glad to have had you with me. I hope to see you again next week for some more crafting, and I will try and I'm going to try and do some quick and simple Christmas cards for you, I think, next week, which would be a good one, wouldn't it? At least something Christmassy, I think we can start doing. And to the design team that have joined me tonight, I'll see you tomorrow night for some new release fun. Have a great weekend, guys. Keep warm, keep safe, and I'll see you all again really soon. See you guys. Bye bye now. Bye.